Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices at each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Wright? Here. Mr. Poe?
Here.
Mrs. Farley? Here. Mr. Capone?
Here.
Mrs. Tobacco? Here. Mr. Heffernan?
Here.
Mrs. Caminiti? Here. Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Muniz? Here.
I need a motion for exec session to discuss matters of student matters, HIP, settlement agreement, negotiations, and contracts.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discussions? Cedar Law.
Bye now.
Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices in each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Caminiti? Here. Mrs. Farley?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mr. Heffernan,
Here.
Mrs. Minnies?
Here.
Mr. Toth?
Here.
Mrs. Wright?
Here.
Mrs. Tobacco? Here. Mr. Capone?
Here. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have our student speakers here tonight from High School North, Liam Ruhr.
Alright, so to begin, Adequate Pride, High School North Student and Staff Enablement Program honors individuals who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement or improvement, conveyed strong work ethic, modeled high core values or principles, and upheld a collective standard of excellence. The latest recipients are, for the 9th grade, Brian Novak and Ava Panzino. For the 10th grade, Jade Gorwick and Isabel Brown. For the 11th grade, Noah Abato and Devin Metro. For the 12th grade, Ethan Deeb and Bernie Cremona. The staff member of the month is Mrs. Michelle Goldfarb. Senior Chrisana Cabrera recently designed and created an original mural to celebrate our district's Arts Academy. It is complete and on display in our theater's box office. This awesome project will enrich High School North's campus and be admired long into the future. On Thursday, February 16th, members of the High School North Science Department delivered a comprehensive presentation regarding the college application process to the class of 2024 parents and guardians. This informational session featured essential strategies and useful insights to student success. Our performing arts program is preparing for its spring musical, Play Me, which will be presented in the theater for senior citizens on the afternoon of Friday, March 24th, and during the event on March 24th and 25th. Along with High School North's outstanding cast, the show will feature a children's ensemble from elementary school and middle schools throughout the district. Freshman Academy Awards are issued each marking period to students who exemplify important social and emotional skills. Our second quarter recipients were Alex Coffin for resilience, Julia Floriello for persistence, Kylie Emery for valor, Naomi Guerrero Hernandez for benevolence, Jason Woods for honesty, Ava Panzino for teamwork, Mars Geiger for goal setting, Carly Cristiani for leadership, Danielle Benbrook for humor, and John Johnson for positivity. High School North's filmmakers continue to develop impressive projects. The Stapler 2, directed by Cosmo DeGennaro and Jacob Walters, will appear in Atlantic City's upcoming HorCon Festival. Also, Tabitha Kirchhoff's Fiancé, along with the entire advanced film classes, collaboratively produced Krampus on Campus will screen at the approaching Point Lookout Festival. Students enrolled in our graphic design course engage in an annual competition to produce an image that will appear on the Lions Club preschool t-shirt. This year's winner was Gianna Tilu Scarfone. High School North's administrative team continues to identify students who model the core values and principles of our learning community. These individuals are regularly issued praise coins, which are medals that celebrate their positive example of leadership across the campus. Our hockey program advanced in postseason play and will face Round High School in the NJSIAA semifinals at Cody Arena in West Orange tomorrow night. At the state sectional champion track meet, Trevor Reed won gold with a 6-foot performance high jump. Jack Chenoweth placed third in the 400-meter race and broke the school record with a time of 50.46 seconds. Also, Aaron Gunch qualified for the Meet of Champions as a wildcard entry following a fourth place finish in the 800-meter run. Furthermore, our wrestling program had another strong performance in this year's District 20 tournament. The following awards were achieved. The athlete Tyler Clincy achieved first place. Lucas Adebayo, first place. Matt Oden, second place. Matt Castelli, second place. Jacob Portman, third place. Justin Fury, third place, as well as our coach, Coach Morley, receiving the Coach of the Year award. These wrestlers advanced to a region competition and earned the following awards. The athlete Tyler Clincy achieved first place. Matthew Castelli, third place. Lucas A. Martin, fourth place. Jacob Portman, fifth place. And Matt Oden, fifth place. Preparations are well underway for the grand opening of a new school store, which will be located near the cafeteria. Staff and students participated in a community-wide vote last week that featured nearly 800 ballots. The winning name is the Lion's Lair. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, David. From High School South, Tessa Sigurd.
Okay, so just some updates from South. So Ava Romano, grade 10, was accepted and performed with the All Shore Chorus. And then the winter season is winding down with teams competing in postseason statewide competition. So Maddie Hussey won the Group 3 shot put title with a throw of 38 feet and 5 inches. Wrestlers Jack Zaleski and David Hussey won the District 21 wrestling titles, advancing to the regional tournament this past weekend with 6 other wrestlers. Jack Zaleski was also named Outstanding Wrestler at the District 21 tournament. Thea Rowland won the Central Jersey Girls Wrestling title at 145 pounds with fellow wrestler Caitlin O'Reilly, finishing runner-up in the 106 pound weight class. The ice hockey team reached the finals of the Shore Conference Dowd Cup, falling to RFH in a hard-fought 3-2 battle. The spring season begins on March 13th for boys tennis, baseball, and softball, and March 16th for girls and boys lacrosse, track and field, and boys volleyball, and boys and girls golf. One film from the MHSS was selected to be screened at the Sun Valley Junior Film Competition in Ketchum, Idaho during the week of March 29th. Gabby Diradires was selected to write an article for the Journal showcasing her experience as a filmmaker at Middletown High School South. The article will be published in March. 6 films from Middletown High School South were selected to be screened at the Brightside Film Festival in Jersey City on March 11th. And then a documentary from Middletown High School South, The Making of MM61, has been selected to be screened as part of the New Jersey School Board's Hometown Documentary Series at this year's Garden State Film Festival. Additionally, the film will be screened at the NJSBA Student Film Showcase Workshop 2023 in Atlantic City this fall. This is the 3rd documentary that has been selected to be screened at the NJSB. And then South will be hosting its first ever staff-student cornhole tournament during the month of March. So there are 68 teams consisting of 1 student and 1 staff member, and that have entered the tournament. Round-robin group games will begin on March 1st. All games will be played during block 3 and 4 with the semifinals and finals on March 31st.
Thank you, Tessa. I'm now going to turn it over to Mr. Cewiak about our new district website presentation.
Good evening. I'll be as brief as possible. The process for building a website actually began last summer. We obviously all were aware of the specific concerns we had with this existing website, both the visual part of it as well as the content, broken links, stale content, and such. One of the concerns we had is we had to ensure that our site moving forward would be ADA compliant. That was a big driving factor in making the site upgradable. We reviewed our site internally, reviewed other sites that were recently built by other schools across the state and the country, and with those reviews and with the ADA compliance issue, we decided it would be best to build a new site from the ground up and not use any existing content. This would allow us to remove all stale content and ensure that we would not have any dead links or non-ADA compliant documents. We started in the fall. We had all department staff, department heads, as well as school administrators go through their content and provide us with what they wanted on the new site. At that point, Mr. Toll then convert that content to ADA compliant content, or recreate it from scratch. So I'll skip the second half, what I have here without further ado. We'll just unveil the site and I'll kind of show you around. So our new site looks like this. It's a little stretched out because the screen is kind of stretched out. But if you notice, the main thing about our site is it's simple, it's clean, and it's neat. One of the biggest concerns of the old site, that it was just too chaotic, too difficult to find things. Our new site is very simple, very clean. We follow the theory of 2 to 3 clicks, 2 to 3 scrolls. So with the old site, where it would take 3 days to scroll to the bottom of the site, the new site can be done with 2 scrolls. So for example, we have all of our main content here, our menus, and then we have our shortcuts below. But then on the same main page, all we have is our MTPS mission statement, news announcements, and calendar, and that's it. It's not page after page of scrolling. The template is a common template for all schools, yet we allow each school to have their colors and their logo for personality reasons. But every page has access right here. It says district home. It'll take you back to our home page. Every page on our site has all of our schools listed, so you can easily access each school. Every page has a shortcut link for parents, students, and staff. So our students have access to class schedules, block schedules. Parents have access to PIC, to Paraschool portal. Staff has access to the employee portal, and so forth. You'll notice as I briefly go through the menus, how it's, again, just really neat and clean, and it's not as chaotic. Administration is very straightforward. It has our administrators, their title, and their contact information. If we go to board members, Board of Education page, we have our board members, has information, contact, and if you'll notice the way the menus are set up, as we move down one, it removes the other one, so it kind of keeps it always neat, clean fashion. If you remember our old board main page, you would scroll down and there were some large YouTube-ish videos for our board meetings. Now it's one click away. It's Board of Education, board meetings, videos. So by clicking the plus, you can access every meeting that we ever video recorded for the district. Departments as well. Departments are all streamlined now. I'll go to technology because I'm kind of familiar with that one. A little synopsis on the technology department. We have right away how we can contact the technology department. Resources, very simple. Parent resources. We have affordable internet access resources to parents. So regardless of what department you go on, you'll see the same format, same simplicity. Pull really briefly, I'll pull up a school site so you can see Bay Shore. You'll see their color change, obviously, for Bay Shore Middle School because we allow them to use their colors. So the site's the same template. The only difference is they have a main office information and building administration. It's very transparent across all these sites that we have main office. One click will take you to the main office, all your contacts, your fax numbers, your phone number, your email addresses, who's in the contacts. And this goes for all of our schools, even elementaries. So you'll see, for example, where Plaza has the same contact information. Main office information will take us to Mr. Whitman and secretary and our contact information. One last thing I just want to show, every page also has these support services along the bottom. So we have obviously our mental health resources, our district calendar, student services, but even something like trying to find a student menu on our old site was very complicated. Now on any page is one click, take you to whatever menu you want for all the schools. And the last thing I'll leave you with is the site, unlike our old site, is a responsive design site. So there's no longer a need for an app. Regardless of what screen you draw this website on, it'll adapt to an iPhone, an iPad, a tablet, or a PC. Do you have any questions?
Question, what are the processes that you'll be putting in place to keep information up to date on the school and then on the main site?
So-
It looks great.
So to avoid what we had in the past, where we have a lot of content in our district, so it can easily get hectic, chaotic, we're funneling all the information to one person. So all the content providers provide that person with information. That person's position will ensure that it's ADA compliant, and then ensure that the sites stay clean and neat and organized as they are now.
For each school, so one person for all.
Correct.
All the schools.
Thank you, Mrs. Huyak.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Rotolo and Mr. Subiac for their commitment to getting this project done. They worked really hard on it. It looks fantastic, so we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Move to our committees, curriculum and instruction, Mrs. Farley and Mrs. Elton.
Okay, sorry. Yes, we met on the 23rd of this month, and we talked about a lot of stuff, but I'll just give you the highlights. First thing was the high school scheduling survey results. The students were surveyed, both high schools. We had a really good response rate, and the results indicated resoundingly that the students are very happy with the current schedule, the 80 minutes, the AV rotation. So at this point, it doesn't look like there's going to be any change. We'll just kind of stay the course and keep everything the way that the students are happy and comfortable with it. So that was really good information to have come out of that survey. A couple of updates in the middle school level. On the world language front, there's just going to be a change to the 8th grade level 2 course for Spanish and French, just to kind of bring it in line with what's actually being taught and have the kids be prepared to go into level 3 at those language levels when they go into the high school. And then there's also going to be an elimination of the communities in scheduling 7th and 8th grade, not in 6th grade, that's going to stay. But just for greater scheduling efficiency, they found that the communities were not sort of having the effect that they thought that they would, and that this would be a better way to be able to efficiently schedule the middle schools. What else? On the agenda for a vote tonight is the Jen Saravallo program for reading for next school year, coming out of this year's budget, so no issue there. We did the writing this year with Jen Saravallo. It's been really successful, great feedback from the teachers on that and students. So really excited to bring that program in for reading for next year. Genesis is replacing Power School. We are on track with rollout. They're going to be starting to do the schedules for middle school and high school for next year. It's being built on Genesis now. Friendly reminder that the NJGPA test is going to be happening March 13th through 16th for 11th graders. So 9th, 10th, and 12th graders have the delayed opening that week. The Middle States accreditation process is beginning for both high schools. So that's a comprehensive review and audit that's required. It's a lengthy process, but that's getting underway to get that accreditation, which will be great. Yeah, I think that was it. That was the highlights.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Farley.
Sure.
Going on to student services, Mr. Zoll. Mr. Zoll.
Yes, thank you. We also met on the 23rd, had a good long meeting, covered a lot of subjects. I'll just hit the highlights as well. First, and it's on the agenda tonight, Mrs. Alfone reported how there's been a lot of success with the Ocean Avenue Tier 3 program in conjunction with ESS. And in light of the obviously growing needs with behavioral and other issues in the last couple of years, there's obviously a need for that on the south side as well. And we're excited to report that there's going to be a mirrored program just like the Ocean Avenue one, Tier 3 program with ESS at Lincroft, starting up very soon. It's going to allow for that same kind of multi-tier approach, multi-pronged approach to addressing behavioral issues, but maintaining it as inclusive as an environment as possible. In the Lincroft program, the cost of it is about $37,000, but that's money will be defrayed and provided by already budgeted IDEA funds. So that's a good outcome there. Reminder, there's a PIC meeting March 9th at 9:15 a.m., I believe, at central office. That'll be a good one. Ms. Alfone is going to provide a kind of single comprehensive report on a lot of the different special services issues and resources and clearing up a lot of information and providing, I think, would be answers to a lot of questions that a lot of people have in one meeting. So I recommend checking that out. And then the other highlight is starting with the upcoming school year, the district will be expanding the pre-K program to add another 75 seats, 50 gen ed, 25 special ed, to an NJCIE integrated pre-K program in a full day format. So on top of the existing half-day program, there'll be now this additional full-day program in 3 classrooms at Ocean Avenue starting next year. It does not require any new staff because it's combining what's already the 3 teachers working at OAS, but to the full-day program. So it's another additional pre-K option. That's pretty exciting. We'll start with that. That's about it.
All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Talbot. Moving on to Facilities and Finance, Mrs. Doherty.
Our committee met on the 21st and reviewed the items that are on the agenda this evening for the board to vote on. The purchase of a truck for facilities replacement truck that was budgeted for this year, and also the furnishing and installation of playground safety surfacing for our elementary playgrounds. So those 2 items are on the agenda this evening for vote. We also reviewed, Mr. Nasser and I reviewed the current proposed budget for the facilities department and for capital outlay, and the drivers of those budget areas. We also reviewed a couple of projects that we are going to be putting in for ROD grants and then budgeting the local share in next year's budget as we develop that for next year. We also reviewed some use of facilities items. We have some additional uses that are coming in to consider to bring revenue into the district. We also reviewed the proposals we received from the architect firm recommendations, and the committee will be interviewing a few firms at the end of March to look at that further to make an appointment to start next year. We also reviewed an overview of the entire proposed budget as it stood at that point for next year, and went over with the committee that we're still working on closing a deficit in that budget with different items that are being reviewed, primarily in the areas of staffing and some other things, and looking at what our schedules will be for next year and what the need would be. We also are looking at the food service management company RFP timeline. This is the last year on the 5 years that we have that contract. And so we will be getting proposals from food service companies and evaluating them through the food service committee to make a appointment that will start for July 1st of next year. And some good news, after much work, the district is awaiting an approved FEMA reimbursement for pandemic-related expenses of approximately $230,000, which would be nice. We also have a second submission in that's not as far along in the review process that we're hoping to get those funds next year. Those have to be reviewed, and they decide whether they're disallowing any of them. It's a long process. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely a good amount of expenses that we're looking to get back. So we just keep checking our bank account for the payment. It looks like we hopefully will be getting it soon. And that's it.
Thank you.
And now, I have a question. Where are we with the money that we applied for to get buses? Have we heard anything?
The buses that, it wasn't a grant, that was part of our stabilization aid package. And as we reviewed in the committee, we applied for stabilization aid funds. We applied for a total of $3.5 million in funds. The district was awarded $1,970,000 out of those funds. So again, we took those funds in. There's things that were in the application that we've already been moving forward on, such as the student information system, for example, was something that was in that application, the conversion over to Genesis. So those funds are covering the cost of our conversion. We've also been looking at, another item that was in the application was generators for the elementary schools, and we are in the process of working through that with our architect and engineers, getting proposals on that. There were other items in there, and between now and the end of the year, we're gonna have to figure out, since we didn't get funding for everything that we asked for, what we're going to be able to move forward with and what we're not gonna be able to.
So
move forward
the
with.
buses might be moved down because we'll be using the money for other things on that list.
Possibly, we're still evaluating, what we're looking at, so,
Okay, just curious.
since we weren't funded for the entire
Yeah, no, I know that,
amount, yeah.
So we can get it here.
Any other questions? Good. Okay, moving on to co-curricular, Mrs. Caminiti.
Yes, co-curricular did meet this month, and we met on the 15th. We discussed a few things, and of course, number one was busing. And we went over the busing issue for our sports teams, and we still don't have enough busing. We have a problem securing busing for our teams that we already bus all the time. There are other teams that are looking to be bused, which we can't possibly do because we have problems with the teams that we're busing now. The other thing we discussed were our uniforms and different supplies for our sports teams. And I think everybody received a copy because Mr. Ranella sent it to us on the last 4 years of uniforms and stuff, how they were ordered. So we were going over that because we were discussing a little bit of what would go into the budget and so to see. The other thing we brought up, but we didn't hear anything back yet about, were the esports. Did anything come out of that? Because we wanted to know about the esports with the middle schools and the high schools.
Yeah, I think, Dave, you looked into that, correct? The e-sport piece of it?
So we did look at esports, and we went to each esports location. Bayshore Esports obviously is working well. North Esports is in the lab. We met with esports coach, and he said everything is working and functioning properly. They're just not using it for the equipment right now. I guess the sports they're using is the Xbox and the Switches. They're not using the gaming systems we built. Sound Esports equipment is ready to go. They just need to provide us with a secureable location, because we can't have that type of equipment just in a media center. So we're looking for a secureable location that we can have it installed, and once we have that information, we can provide it in a couple of days.
Why aren't they using the right equipment?
In North, they're not using it, and don't quote me on this, but from what I remember from each sports coach telling us, is right now the sports they are esports that they're competing in are not gaming computers. They're using other type of gaming systems.
Right.
So the equipment is there, they're just using other equipment.
Yeah, they can use it, they have to use it on certain platforms.
Correct. So they're using different
And the games that
platforms.
they're playing now, they can't do it on the other equipment. They have to do it on Xbox and other platforms. Yeah.
And South still doesn't have it up there.
South's equipment is ready to go. We were going to use one of their, I guess the iLab, and then we couldn't install there because that's been scheduled out for something else. So we're just waiting on a lockable location to install it in, because some significant equipment, we can't just leave it out in the media center.
How do we make it a little bit of a priority to get South done? Because I'm not asking you, I'm asking Mary Ellen this, because the year is almost over. We're in February, March. Tomorrow's March 1st for these children.
And we emphasized so much on how important esports was, and now, we're only hearing about one school succeeding, and what's going on with the rest that's not there.
These are just waiting for a location, you said, right, Mrs. Spear?
Yeah, as long as we get a good location, that building can be completed in less than 2 days.
Who makes that decision on the location? Maybe the building principal, who makes it?
What if you learn technology?
I know it's not you,
Yes.
that's why I'm trying to find out.
Building administration would be
Building administration.
driving that decision.
And what
Can
lab
we
is
put
it?
pressure on this to get
We
it
can work
done?
collaboratively with them to
Years
find a
almost
spot.
gonna be over before you know it.
I can reach out this week.
Please.
What lab is it in North?
It is in I know the room was 10,
Because when we
11.
toured, nobody knew anything about an Eastport Pep.
It's
Nobody.
all the way in the back by,
We asked personally to see it and they said there was none.
Where's that?
it's in the same room as the digital video game design classroom. It's built in the back of that classroom.
Doesn't the South have a room like that? Like a bit, what you said this, don't they have that yet?
I'm not aware if they do or not.
I'll work with Mr. Suliak this week on this, and we'll collaborate with the high school administrators to make sure we start moving forward.
Please? Thank you.
That all you know?
I'm done. You know, technology took up most of my meeting, you know.
Well, moving on to technology now, we have Mr. Heffernan and Mrs. Murray.
Yeah, so we also met on the 15th. We actually met with Mr. Sudiak. He went over in depth the new website, which is absolutely amazing. Took a decent amount of time, went through the whole website, and we loved it. Only asked for a couple minor little add-ons, like some awards or achievement pop-up, so as soon as you open the page up, maybe you can see. So hopefully that happens. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to open the microphone up to public comment. If you'd like to make a statement on agenda items only, please step forward. State your name and address for the record.
Denise Thompson, Denise Thompson, 44 Court. One website looks amazing. I'm excited to see it tomorrow. So thank you for tackling that. I only had one comment, which I noticed on the agenda. Laura's photography contract was on there. I'm not sure if it bubbled up to administrative levels, but I did send a message to Mrs. Ferlazzo and Mr. Esposito. There was a lot of customer service issues this year. Pictures were not of the quality for the price that they're charging. So just wondering if there's any possibility to, survey senior parents, opportunities for a different vendor, just to kind of take a look at that. Because I think it's been kind of historic year after year, parents upset about how the senior pictures are coming out. So we'd love to kind of take a look at that. I'm not sure if BNL, I noticed we have a contract for K-8. I don't know what, I'm happy to do some research on this, but I'm not sure if they do senior pictures or high school pictures, but it might be worth looking at that.
Thank you.
Do we go out to bid for that? Or we just automatically renew?
So we have K to 8 and 11 and 12.
We don't automatically renew it. We do go through a process of reaching out to the school administrative teams to see if there's been any feedback on the companies that have been providing service. And we also ask the companies what their pricing will be for the next year and whether they will hold the pricing, any increases, anything like that. So it's not an automatic, but we do reach out and get information to warrant whether they would be recommended.
So we've been using it for many years, right?
Yes.
War for 9 to 12 and, for.
What's the avenue for feedback?
I'm sorry?
What's the avenue for feedback from the public?
Well, I would think that if parents were not happy with pictures, that they could reach out to their school administration and let them know, and then they would bring the feedback to us.
I just want one more thing. Do we have any way of tracking how many kids had retakes? Because that would tell if the pictures were decent or parents weren't happy and they wanted them redone.
I'm sure that information is available. I don't have it offhand, but.
Sorry, I was going to add to that, because I did talk to Laura's about getting a retake after many back and forths on the edits, because the edits were awful. And the option for me was to drive an hour for a retake. So, which I said no, and I wound up going to a professional photographer for a retake. And Mrs. Ferlazzo was amazing, and she took the picture that I used outside of Laura's. But other parents were complaining, and I did raise the feedback to Mr. Esposito and Mrs. Ferlazzo, so I don't know if that traveled that. But there was a lot of chatter from other parents as well.
Is there a way we could do maybe a survey with the parents? We're not gonna change anything now, because, it's done for this year, maybe the next year, only because I remember this when my kids were in school. This has been going on a long time. This is not something new. Every so often it surfaces to the top again.
Sure, we can definitely look into doing a survey.
Yeah, or just let's look into some other companies. Because it's been like this for a while. This is not something new.
Just think at this point, maybe too late. So,
For next year.
But next year, not this year. It's definitely not this year. I know it's too
There
late.
was a big discrepancy
This year's
between,
done.
Yeah,
there was a big discrepancy between the quality of the pictures that were taken for sports, for the banners. I don't know if you, I thought those pictures were outstanding
it's the
of all the
photographer that
kids.
comes. It's
And then the kids for the senior pictures, but,
it's
Well,
what they
the
send.
sports are taken by different.
right, yeah, I don't know who took those sports ones, but those were just like particularly really good this year, I thought.
I think the survey would,
Not not
yeah, I think the survey would be good because we're voting to approve a vendor, but most of us, some of us might be getting those pictures, but most of us never see them, so to hear the parent input is, they're the ones paying for it.
what's on the agenda tonight is for
Floors
next year?
for next, right.
Next year. So,
Right, because they do their, they start doing their schedules this time of year for all the different schools that they have.
do we have time, to want to table this for now?
And they produce our yearbook too.
That's Johnson's. Johnson's does the yearbook.
Laura's provides Johnson for pictures.
When is the RFP cut off for that?
We don't have an RFP out for that.
As far as the survey, it has to go to the senior parents of this year. Parents previous that you're going to, that are in the kids, if they didn't have seniors,
The 11th grade was.
no, 11th grade is, let's just say you only have one child. You have no idea about the photos. You have to ask the seniors of this year.
Or the prior
Oh, you
year.
have 5, forget about it.
I was gonna say, I have a lot of pictures of my son with a crooked bow tie.
Of course, we all do.
And they were horribly disorganized, could not find the picture. I'm sitting there looking at it and they couldn't, Laura's was, we've had a lot of administrative turnover, but I complained as well last year because it was
And
a
as far
mess.
as what she's saying about the argument up there, I know that firsthand. Because I had the same thing, I said, I forget that. I'm not going.
So can we table it?
Is there timing to, the next meeting to get this done, accomplished next year, or?
They'd have to get the survey out. Yeah, I'm sure if we tell them we're not appointing them, they're just gonna have.
Let's table it for now, I think that the board is in agreement with this.
My only question is if we decide next month to not go with that firm, is there time to get another?
That's what I just said.
Yeah, because it's not just for boards, but for whoever else we get.
I can't provide a definitive answer on that because we would have to check into it.
I think we have to do it simultaneously. As this survey is going out, at least know our options.
So we have another meeting in 2 weeks, and we can find out by that 2 weeks, and if need be, we can just say,
So the board would expect the survey results back for the next meeting? Is that what?
well, let's see if we have the time to do that, actually, for the next meeting.
Okay.
Is everybody okay with that?
What about asking for potential other vendors?
That's what I'm saying, yes. Good. Hooray, very good. I'm sorry, Vera, go ahead.
It's all right.
Name and address for the record.
Vera Paseki, Eshire Drive, Middletown. I was going to reiterate what she said about Laura's. It's a very expensive package, and I unfortunately didn't have a son who was interested in doing retakes, so I have my crooked bow tie and those sorts of pictures. The other comment on the free full-day preschools at Ocean Avenue, that's wonderful news. I think that's a wonderful location. 75 seats, I assume it's like it has always been, where it's 1/3 lottery, 1/3 income eligible, and 1/3 special ed. Is that how it's?
The split is 10, it can be up to 15 in the class, 10 will be general ed, 5 special ed seats. We will do a low-income lottery first for the gen ed seats, and then roll it into a larger lottery if there are spots left over.
Yeah, I just think that area, if we can get the word out, that's really can have an amazing impact on these kids, as some of them don't see school until they hit kindergarten. So, good news. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. Moving on to, does anybody else have a comment they'd like to make? Moving on to a proclamation, we have the NEA's Read Across America proclamation. I need a motion to approve executive session 124-23 and workshop regular voting meeting 124-23.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Opposed? Abstentions. I just want to say congratulations to North Hockey. Great game last night. South should be proud as well. They had a phenomenal season. And if anybody is interested, tomorrow night is the semifinals, 7 o'clock at Rich Cody Arena in West Orange.
Tickets online.
These are online, yes, correct. Amy, I think that's over to you, Board Secretary, monthly certification.
We have a monthly certification that no line item or account has with encumbrances and expenditures exceeds the total line appropriation in accordance with New Jersey Administrative Code for our Board Secretary's report. And the remaining items are other financial reports for the month of January. And the bill list as of February 28th. Those are items 1 through 3 on item C.
Thank you, Amy.
So we just need a motion and a vote on those.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. Moving on to, I need a motion to approve C 1 through 3.
So moved.
We just did that.
Oh, I'm sorry, C 1 through 3. All right, Mary Ellen, I'm sorry.
All right, nomination forms for the 2022-23 Educational Support Staff Employee of the Year are now available. Students, staff, and community members can nominate a non-certificated staff member at their school for this honor. Non-certificated staff would be your paraprofessionals, your RBTs, secretaries, security guards, custodial maintenance. Anyone who doesn't have a certificate in the school, they usually support the education of the student in that way. So the forms are available on the district website, and they're due Friday, March 10th at 4 p.m. So go and select or nominate your favorite certificated staff member for your school. Also, earlier this year, we selected, or you selected, the Educator of the Year, which is a teacher for each building. And at our board meeting on March 28th, we will be honoring those Educators of the Year for this year. There will be a parent presentation on Wednesday, March 1st, school avoidance for parents and families at 6:30 to 8 at High School North, right here in the library. Excuse me. This will be very informative and helpful workshop for any parent, but particularly those parents who struggle with a child who doesn't want to go to school. It's the time of year for the high school musical productions. They will happen in March. There's 2 great shows this year, and they showcase the fantastic talents of our students. High School North, excuse me, I'm talking again. High School North will present Les Mis on March 24th and 25th, and High School South will present Chicago, and that will run the 23rd to the 25th. Also, our kindergarten registration is open on our website right now, so if anyone has someone who is going to go to kindergarten next year in the district, we recommend that you register your child as soon as possible. It is a total online system. You don't have to come in. Just go onto the website. You'll see the registration link, and you can upload all the documents and information right there. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Ward. I need a motion to approve D 2 through 8, but we are tabling on item number 240034.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed on number 2?
I'm opposed to number 2 also.
Abstentions? Good.
Should the record reflect you're opposed, but you support the table?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve B through D 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? in favor?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve on the personnel, 1A through 13.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm
Abstentions?
opposed on number 9.
Abstentions? Good. Okay, let's go to old business. Anyone have any old business? Okay,
Do we know where we are with the communication from the vocational schools to the district? Have we gotten any communication from, say, the vocational school behind us on how our students are doing, or anybody getting any awards or achievements?
That would typically go through guidance. I can follow up. I don't have that information in front of me.
Yeah.
That would probably go to Dr. Cadell and Ms. Nichols.
Right, because I brought this up a few months back about us recognizing our vocational students and their achievements, and one of the concerns was there was a lack of communication between the vocational schools communicating with us. And a lot of our kids are getting awards and achievements, and we're not knowing about it. So I was just curious if we got any further on that. Another thing that's a big topic is our security consultant. So Amy, could you just explain what that is so people know and they don't have the wrong idea out there?
Sure. So the board engaged a security consultant to take a look at all aspects of our security, such as staffing, infrastructure, procedures, practices. We just felt it was a good idea. We've done it with other areas that the district operates, such as facilities, transportation, and to have someone from the outside take a look and give us feedback, positive and areas for possible improvement. So they've been going around to each school campus and evaluating, like we said, the staffing, the facility, the procedures. They did let us know they were going to be going around and doing visits in the evening. They're going to even take a look at the lighting at each building and look at all aspects of what we have in place. The principals are aware. They've been actually speaking with all of our administrators and all of our security staff that are in each building to just get a complete picture so that the district can know that our efforts are in the right direction, and also bring to light anything that maybe we hadn't thought of.
Thank you for explaining that, because there's so much misinformation out there about that. You know, when people saw consultant and whoever starts the rumors. But I think them hearing what you're saying, it's just a normal procedure.
We have an excellent team, but it's always beneficial to have, somebody from the outside give, a completely objective look and tell us, information that we may not have thought of.
Thank you.
You know the old business?
Yeah.
Before I move to new business, some of our other board members, Kaylee and Liam, have anything to say?
Yes, one thing I would like to bring to attention is on May 21st, South and North Key Club. South and North Key Club is actually hosting a suicide prevention awareness walk. So I know we have a lot of time before then, but
May 21st.
yeah. So I think that'll be really good. Actually, a junior from South, Piper, she organized all of it, so I think she deserves a lot of credit for this. I know she was working with not only North Key Club, South Key Club, but also talking to other people who have experienced and have ran one. So I think that's something to look forward to.
How far are we walking? Before I say yeah.
Typical
No
question
guilt,
you
no
would
guilt.
ask.
Right, I have to know how far they're walking.
I don't know where we're starting it, but I know we're walking to Town Hall.
Is there like a fee, or it's just everybody gets together and walk?
So to raise money, you can get a shirt. And then when we get to Town Hall, there's going to be like different stands and I know she wanted to do like live music with bands from North and South and have different performers. So I think it'll be a good community outing.
This sounds like fun.
Yes.
Are you gonna do
Keep
it,
us
Leonora?
posted on the site.
What?
Are you gonna do it?
Well, if we walk from north, I could handle.
Are you gonna do it? That's all I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, and you're gonna do it?
I'm gonna do it.
Then I'll do it.
Okay, because it's starting at the Long Branch Boardwalk, which is May
Holy
21st,
cow.
and it goes down hall, so I'll see you there. I will be there, yes. Let's go on. Anybody else for new business? I'm sorry, Liam.
Yeah, sure. I just have a few things to add. To begin, I'd like to talk about actually, the weight room, which was redone over the summer, has been in great use this year from, not only from athletes, but from just students in general. There's actually a North Powerlifting Club that is going on right now, and there is a powerlifting competition that is going to be featured at some point in early April. The date is not official yet, but the club is, they're working on it. Half of the funds are going to go towards chosen charity, which is not been picked yet, and the other half are going to go towards, I believe, just general funding for the club. You can pay to, it's still in the works. I don't know the exact fee to participate, but there is going to be a fee. Furthermore, at last meeting, I talked about the computer science honor study club that North was hosting, or that had just taken off in North. They actually ran elections the past week, and the club has, I think, upwards of 30 members, so it's going pretty well. Staying with the topic of science, North Science National Honor Society is now hosting inter-district, science presentations. There's one being hosted this Thursday. A few students from North are going to Bayshore Middle School to give a couple of demonstrations, and then in 2 weeks, there's another one going to be planned that is going to be also at Bayshore Middle School, and we are working on getting to other middle schools. So,
Thank you both very much. Very good. Moving on to new business, Mrs. Minuis.
Frank, real quick, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Just Joan's point reminded me, maybe just a suggestion, maybe we can invite the vocational school leadership to a meeting at some point in the future to share what's going on there, maybe tell what some of the students are doing. Just yeah, to
Nice,
nice.
Sure.
Means a lot to those students to be recognized like everybody else.
Of course. Yeah.
So yes, I have
Go
new
ahead.
business. Okay, just wanted to thank everybody who signed up for the Bayview gift auction this Saturday. I hope it's well attended and that they raise the funds that they want. The next one coming up is Bayshore on May 5th. I'm gonna tweet out the information, but if you don't follow me on Twitter, you can look at the school website.
That Twitter guy.
But May 5th, all the information is there. It's out nice and early, so you have plenty of time to save and sign up. Also, I want to go on what Frank said about the North-South hockey game. It's amazing to see how many people were there last night. It was a great game, and both teams played tremendous. And the one good thing about that, unfortunately, somebody had to lose because they were playing each other. But the one good thing about that is it brought our community together, and it goes to show what a great hockey program Middletown has. There's no losers here. Everybody played tremendously. So I love those kind of events when it brings everybody out. And I think we were to the point last night where they were getting pretty close to capacity, or maybe a little over.
Actually, truth be told, there was 1,100 people in attendance last night, and it was shut out at one point.
Yes.
There was a line outside of about 35 to 50 people.
Yep. So good job to the hockey in Middletown and the coaches and the district for supporting something like that. And hopefully future clubs will get as big and as organized as hockey in Middletown was. And good luck to North tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll be going to the Prudential Center on Monday, because I looked it up, that's when they're scheduled, but there's no times yet. But, I'm sure we're gonna have all of Middletown people from all over Middletown attending that, like they usually do. So that's all I have.
Sounds good.
I have something.
Sure.
So as you know, March 2nd is Read Across America Day. River Plaza Elementary School celebrating Read Across America Week. And today they had an alumni there who happened to be an author, Mike Dawson, stopped in to sign books for the kids. And the PFA president asked me to let everybody know that it was PFA funded. So. Anyway, yeah.
We used to get invited to that, but we haven't been lately.
I didn't even get invited to it.
We used to always go and read.
You wanna read?
We used to always get invited to go and read to all the
Don't like
students.
that.
But we haven't gotten in
I
a few
think
years.
during COVID, they stopped having
Yeah.
visitors in the building, so we have to remind them again
So
that, you know.
truth be told,
It's late for
Business
now,
as
but-
usual,
Truth
and
be
invite
told,
people in. Yeah.
I read yesterday at my son, Frank the dad, read at my son's kindergarten classroom yesterday, because I put my name down and they called me out.
Nice. Yeah, that's what
You
your
must know
dad.
somebody.
They used to
I don't
invite
know.
the board though, and
The
administration, and anybody, the mayor, whoever, everybody used to go and read.
It's great. I think the mayor actually read today in Newport.
Oh, nice.
I just wanted to just add
Yes.
really quick. So just to add to Bayshore, their gift auction is coming up on May 5th, but also Mr. Curtis reported that he did his tour of the elementaries feeding into Bayshore last week to talk to all the fifth graders. So of course, they were all abuzz and had great questions for him, including my son, he's at Bayview, so that was like the talk of all last week. Again, they're having a clothing drive fundraiser on Saturday, April 1st. So if you're cleaning out your closets, feel free to drop off all of your stuff. I think they're also going to collect shoes, and I think sort of like, lightly used towels and things like that, but no toys. It seems to be sort of the message there. So if you have stuff, please drop it off there so they can benefit the PTA. Also, I just wanted to say, on behalf of Bayview, they had their theater week with their big show happening at Bayshore on the big stage under the big lights on February 17th. I was asked to work with them again, and I have to say it was one of the most fun things that I got to do. They had a record number of 78 students that participated this year, including for the first year, 3 students came from Miss Jennings' class, which made the performance even that much more special. They just had the greatest time being up on that stage and performing again. And I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Curtis, who stayed the whole night to help us. The custodians did an amazing job because we had so many family members and friends that came. We wound up trying to find more and more chairs to accommodate people, and there was standing room only. Anita Scott and Steve Cole helped, with security, and trying to work through, a few little logistic issues, but it was just a really great night for all of those kids, and we're just really happy we were able to do it.
Thanks, Deb.
I had one thing, Frank, sorry. It's like a little more, I don't know, it's just something that's been on my mind. I read an article in the New York Times about it. I know everyone knows a lot about this, that there's obviously mental health crisis, teens, there's a lot going on. There's been a lot in the news and everything lately. And the article that I read was talking about how what they think is a big cause of it is like social media. Obviously, we know that can be problematic. I don't really have like a specific vision for how to accomplish this, but I was just kind of wanted to put it out there to see if there was something the district and the board could start to think about ways to sort of help deal with whether it's regulating social media use by teens within our schools, because that's what we have control over. Like if people are on their phones on social media during the day, kind of limiting that, whether it's something, I know some other districts are looking into doing like a pledge with parents and like a wait until 8th or wait until 10th for social media, things like that. I think there's a lot of programs out there. There's things that we could possibly look into, and I'd really like it if the board, the district could sort of, whether it's, we deal with it in policy committee or some other way to try to start to look at this issue and see if it's something we can, maybe start to address. I know there's a lot of factors with mental health, but I think this could be, maybe something that we could do. So that's just something I wanted to mention.
Thanks, Kate.
Totally support.
Anyone else? Good. Right, moving on to public comment. Anyone like to make a public comment, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. So, good. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Have a great night, everyone.